Hello, I'm the Arizona Silverback, and I'm going to talk to you about staying motivated for Jiu Jitsu. Buckle up, take a seat, let's go. So, you're here because you want to stay motivated. That's good. Let's talk about it just a little bit. First and foremost, motivation is like a cup with a hole in it. You have to fill it every single day. I would definitely recommend finding a video or finding something that motivates you to watch each morning. Some people listen to inspirational speeches. Some people will watch videos of people grappling. You got to find something that inspires you. So inspiration fills the cup of motivation. Okay? So again, find something that you like that reminds you of jiu-jitsu that you can watch. For instance, if you're a boxer and you watch Rocky gets you going every single time, I'd watch it at least once a week just to keep that cup all the way to the top. But there's a slow leak in it. So inspiration is the number one tip for motivation. Another thing you're going to want to look into is purpose. Purpose helps drive motivation. For everybody, this might just be a little different. We want to look at purpose. So maybe your goal is to become a blue belt, a purple belt, a brown belt, and maybe a black belt. And just so you know, through the IBJJF system, they say there's only 2,658 black belts out there. And starting out, I'm just going to read this to you, combining these calculations, this brings a total of 2,945,240 people actively practicing BJJ. So they did all these numbers. That's a lot of people practicing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and only 1% of them make it to black belt. I should tell you a thing, okay? People lose motivation, but not you. Not today. Okay, so purpose. Is it the next belt? Purpose. Is it weight loss? Purpose. Is it submitting somebody in the room? Maybe it's get a girlfriend. Who knows what is driving you, but use it. Every single day, write it down on the fridge, put it on your phone. I used to put a picture of what I wanted to look like on my phone when I get big. I was like, oh yeah, this is what I want to look like, this is what I'm capable of, and I fight towards that. So purpose is a big one. If you want to stay motivated in Jiu-Jitsu, have a purpose with Jiu-Jitsu in mind. Maybe it's to own a school. Who knows? Now, when it comes to purpose, what ends up happening is your goal is a blue belt. Okay, and this is where blue belt blues comes into play, and we'll talk about this later on. But you set your purpose. At first, you're grinding it out. Jiu-Jitsu is new to you. You get up to your second stripe, and you realize you're getting close to that blue belt. Your goal is to get the respect that other people have that's associated with the blue belt. You want the ability. You want to get there and say, hey, look at me. I've accomplished something. Boom, you get your blue belt. All of a sudden, everything drops off. You have to adapt your purpose for the next belt. See, it's so far away, though. You know, it took you, 2 years to 2.5 years to get to the blue belt? It's another 2.5 years to get to purple. And purple, they say, is the hardest belt to get to. It is. So people, they start losing motivation because the purpose is so far away. All right? And again, that's where the motivation comes into play. And purpose, now the purpose, you need to set smaller goals. Jiu-Jitsu is about climbing a ladder at small steps, and it's not about jumping big leaps. And you'll learn that as you get further on. But a lot of people quit at blue belt. Blue belt is a white belt that most people quit. Black belt that most people quit. But blue belt is one where people get the blues and they leave for a few years, or they stop for a while. Find a new purpose. As you're getting closer to it, stop focusing on the belt. So as you know, you're like, hey, I'm at 4 stripes, I'm getting ready to get my blue belt. Stop focusing on the belt, it's gonna come, and start picking a new goal, okay? Whether it's to reinvent your game, try something new in it. Like if you're a top guy, you're going pulling guard. There's different ways for you to have purpose, but you have to start changing your purpose once you start meeting that goal, okay? That's so important. The third thing I'm gonna use to help you stay motivated is small daily goals. Okay, this is something that I use all the time. I've been rolling for a very long time, and what I do is on a bad day, or if I'm hurt, I try to survive. What I'll do is I'll just go with the hardest guys in class, and I'll just survive, so I'll work on my defense. So if a higher belt or somebody I know is better than me comes down, my goal is to push the pace, go the whole time without being submitted, or catch them in a bad spot and make sure I can maintain control, because control is, in my mind, what Jiu-Jitsu is about. The submission is just a means of an end of the control. Okay, and if I'm rolling with the lower belt, I'm gonna try to work my weakest game, and I'm gonna try to make it fun for me. I'm gonna set maybe some bounties at the beginning of class. I'm like, okay, I want to make sure I get a Kimura today. I want to make sure I get an arm bar from guard, and I want a triangle, which I'm not super tall, so triangles are hard, especially on bigger guys. That's what I want to do. I set small goals and I try to accomplish those by the end of the day. Also, maybe I want to drill a move out 10 times, or I want to stay after and keep working. I just set small goals that I can accomplish, and I set bigger goals too. Maybe I want to increase my lasso game, so I start implementing more lasso stuff, and then in that I sub-increment smaller parts of it. So it's like today this next month maybe, I'm working only lasso. Okay, every roll I go, I'm going straight to lasso. Once I step that foot inside, boom, the first one, maybe I'm trying to lasso omoplata. Maybe I'm trying to get that lasso sweep with the foot set up. Maybe I'm trying to do a lasso into a triangle. You know, I can sub-increment it, but the idea is for this month, I'm gonna hit only lasso. And what it does is it gives you something to look forward to. Now, jiu-jitsu can be hard, and I know, trust me, I know. And you can get your butt kicked a lot, but hopefully this helps you a little bit. I'm not a motivational speaker, but when I started jiu-jitsu, I hated it. So I had the opposite. I fell in love with it later on. I got my butt kicked by everybody. I thought jiu-jitsu was impossible to learn, but what happened, it wasn't that jiu-jitsu was hard to learn. I learned later. I've learned now. It was that I wasn't applying jiu-jitsu. I was doing a martial art, and I wasn't applying the martial art. For instance, I would go and roll, and I would out wrestle somebody. I would do whatever it took to win. You know, I'd just crush them into the world. I didn't even know what I was doing. I'd stay heavy. I'd keep pressuring. I'd do whatever I could. I didn't know any submissions, and then I'd get caught. And that person wanted to roll with me again. And I was like, okay, well, next person. And I kept doing that. I kept just rolling to roll, but I didn't apply jiu-jitsu. So jiu-jitsu wasn't a whole lot of fun, but I wasn't really trying jiu-jitsu. And every time I'd lose, you know, and I was a wrestler, so it was hard for me at first. For the first year, I was everybody's whipping post. I'd still give him hell, but it came at a cost. I mean, an hour and a half of rolling, I'd be smoked, which I loved it, because to me it reminded me of wrestling, but I'd hate it because I'd lose all the time. Well, then I hit this thing where I finally got someone in an armbar. And I was like, holy cow, and he's one of the best guys in the gym. I was working on it. I was like, man, I don't need anything else but arm bars. It was a no-gi school. Well, I finally got that arm bar, man. It felt great. It felt really good to hit that arm bar. I was like, okay, well, I could do it again. And then I was like, well, how could I set up the arm bar? And I started building pathways to get to arm bars. And I started getting arm bars from everywhere. And I started slowly falling in love with jiu-jitsu. And I didn't care about the rank at the time. I just wanted to work out. Well, then it became rear naked chokes. I only wanted to work rear naked chokes. And then I came to this next thing. I started finding motivation. I found videos that I really liked. And I use a lot of these for competition. So the advice I'm giving you, I use for comp as well. So when I plan to compete, okay, what I do is I set a date. I get ready first. So I'll train for 4 or 5 months, make sure that I'm ready to go, and then I pick a comp about a month out. That time, I'm not trying to cram. I'm already ready. I'm in good shape. I get good cardio. My diet's on point. This next month is just me working things that are fun to me. Okay, so I'm building up. I'm just micro adjusting, as they say. I'm fixing little things in my game, building up for the comp, because comp is exciting to me. So I'm building up, making sure my cardio is good. Everything stays on point, and I go compete. What I don't do is cram. I'm like, okay, I'm not ready today, but in 3 months I'm gonna go compete, and I need to hurry up and cram for it. That makes jiu-jitsu no fun. I also do 3 months of competing and 3 months of just taking it easy and just drilling and learning. And I just break up the monotony. Well, anyway, that's a long video, long post. Again, if you want to stay motivated, first off, watch the Arizona Silverback. He's going to help you. Okay? Second, motivation's like a cup with a hole. Always refill your hole. Find something that you like to watch. And for me, it's a Kyotera video of why he got into jiu-jitsu. Man, that one helps me when I'm starting to feel a little blue. Just look at jiu-jitsu motivation. There's some good videos out there. Have a purpose, okay? Have long-term goals, have short-term goals in jiu-jitsu. And finally, have daily things you can do that are fun. I call it bounties. I set bounties just like in a video game. You know, like they keep you coming back because you have the daily things, you have the weekly things, and you want to accomplish it to get better. That's what I do. I just set little things and long things. I'm a black belt. But I am the Arizona Silverback. Hopefully you're going to stay motivated now. And I'll see you guys at black belt. Always a pleasure.